We'll get started in a second here. Kathie will be joining us today, our attorney. So let's see, what is today? Today is September 5th, 2025. John Lee, St. Louis Real Estate Investors Association. Welcome to our networking session. I only got a couple announcements, not much. Let's see, next Tuesday, which will be, no, I'm sorry, 2 Tuesdays from now, a week from Tuesday, on the 16th will be the main event, and that will be Inspector Pete Klarmann will be there. I know somebody was talking about inspectors the last couple weeks, so anyway, he's always he's entertaining and also good to listen to, but very knowledgeable, been around for a while. And also we have our main event too is going to have Mike Prather and Mike Gibson's, and they're going to be talking about private notes, which is very interesting. I know I've never bought and sold any. We've created a bunch of them ourselves, but that's always a good, interesting subject. I believe there will be a virtual option too. So if you cannot make it in person, check out the website, STLREIA.com, and look at the events coming up. So, that's really about all I have today. Let's see. While we wait for Kathie, does anybody got anything they'd like to start us off with?
Did you want me to go ahead and do the disclaimer first?
Yeah, you can go ahead and do that. Yeah, please do that. Sorry. Thank you.
It's okay. Good morning and welcome, everyone. First, I'd like to do a bit of housekeeping. Feel free to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. Hold on, I gotta.
Okay, here's, I think Kathie's joining us here. There she is.
Yep.
Miss Katharyn Davis, good to see you.
Here.
Okay, there you are.
So, John, I got to explain something to you. I keep asking John, what's the login? What's the password? I use this laptop for court, so I don't have other stuff on it. So I have to have the login and password because I don't have anything I can click on the laptop because I don't put email or anything on it. I'm kind of paranoid that I would somehow inadvertently show my secret lawyer stuff to a judge or a litigant or something, and that could be bad.
Oh, good. I didn't
Yeah,
know.
that's why. So
Yeah, okay.
yeah, I'm afraid I'll do share my screen by accident, and it'll be me and other lawyers, typing back and forth about the judge or something. So last time, I think someone asked me if there was anything new about the right to counsel in the city of St. Louis. And I can tell you this, first of all, I think we were right last year when we talked about the idea that it wasn't that well funded. Legal services were going to do it. We know the lawyers who are doing the representation. They can't take that many cases because they're not being paid that much money. And they have a system where you have to call on Monday. And if you're not one of the first few people, you don't get to be represented. Legal services is going to represent the number of people they can represent anyway. So it really hasn't been an issue. And the other thing is with some of our defendants, legal services is maybe a little bit easier for us to deal with and talk to than the actual unhappy defendant. On Wednesday, Chris and I were in the city doing our city docket, and one tenant was there, not on, or I don't even know if he was a tenant, honestly, but he was a defendant in a case, and they had 5 bailiffs escorting him through the courthouse because the week before he had overturned all the tables and slammed them to the ground. And this week we had a defendant who was a woman who got angry with me and refused to talk to me. So I said, okay, just have a seat and Chris will talk to you. He'll get to you in a little while. And so she was talking to Chris and got angry with Chris, and she started slamming things down on the table, and more bailiffs came running out of the sheriff's office. She almost got maced, I mean, or tased. I'm not sure which, but it was like a crazy day. And I'd rather have a nice, quiet legal services attorney that I can work something out with than crazy people like that. And we had that in the county a couple of weeks ago. Christine had a woman, I think the woman was, I don't know, maybe a little impaired, maybe on drugs or something, but her mother was the problem. Her mother was screaming. Another bailiff had to come over. They were escorted from the courthouse. And then they were in trial. We had set them for trial the following week, and the mother didn't show up, and the daughter showed up late, and she was clearly high. I mean, and the judge just said, "Well, you were late, so your case has already been decided," and she left. So you just never know what they're going to do. So I think there was some talk this year in the city about expanding right to counsel, but then the tornado, and they're using all the money for the tornado, and resources are being diverted to that. So I don't think they've expanded it yet. And again, I don't think it's going to be enough to be that much a problem like it is in Kansas City, where it's really driving the landlord lawyers there nuts. And there's some lawyers representing tenants in Kansas City who are pretty unreasonable. Most of the ones that we work with here are decent to deal with, and we can usually work something out. The other thing I have for you, how many people read the Post-Dispatch online or otherwise? There was a column by Tony Messenger earlier this week, possibly on Sunday or Monday, not sure, about a squatter statute case where the attorney for the property owner, I happen to know someone who was in the courtroom when this case was being discussed. And apparently the attorney for the property owner was very disrespectful to the judge, and this may be a bad squatter case. So we're watching that to see if that's going to affect our use of the squatter statute. It sounded to me like it was not an appropriate use of the squatter statute. I know we've talked about this before, but I'll say it again. That's kind of a narrow statute. It's only for strangers that have broken in. It's not for tenants you don't like, or your lease is up, or, that kind of thing. I don't even think it's for someone who's left behind when the tenant moves, because if they got in there by the permission of the tenant, then their residence is permissive. It's not squatting. So, we have a way to get out. Any ways are not short. And the squatter statute does act really fast, but you can be liable if you use it and it wasn't appropriate, because the method of doing it, the person can be put out without even a hearing, and that's not a lot of due process. So we're screening those really carefully. And it'll be a little while before we have something go up to the Court of Appeals and we get a decision like that. In this case, I think Arch City Defenders is representing the defendant, so they might take it to the Court of Appeals. We'll see what they do. And I think that's all I've got right now. I don't know anything new about tornado resources that we haven't already talked about, if anybody's been affected, except that I think the city mayor is trying to get the feds to do something, and they're not doing anything to help. And I know that just driving up and down Lindell, it's been fairly tidied up, but there's still big piles of large chunks of trees and stumps and that kind of thing. I am personally a little surprised at how long it's taking them to haul all that stuff away, but I guess there's just a lot of it everywhere. So does anybody have any questions, or is there anything I can do for you guys?
It'd be interesting to see how the squatters turns out. I'm always curious about that.
We'll be totally watching that, and we're very interested as well. We're concerned because we think that might have been an overreach, but we're going to keep an eye on it. Yeah. And that kind of stuff, it could take a couple of years to float all the way through.
There's probably no case studies either, is there, up to this point?
No, because it's so new.
Because it's new,
and this is the first one we've heard about that it's being challenged. And Arch City, what we've heard is that they're challenging the constitutionality of the statute. So they might go to the Court of Appeals if it gets decided against them. We don't know. We'll keep an eye on it, and we'll report back to you. And I'm going to the Missouri Bar Annual Convention in a couple of weeks in Branson. And so there's a lot of judges down there. So I might hear some inside scoop, about that or other things.
Oh, fun.
And I don't have anything else too much that's new about legislation that would affect us or anything. Anybody got any questions? Or are y'all good? I have to go meet my sister and my daughter to plan my mother's 90th birthday.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Is she
So,
in town?
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that'll be fun.
Yeah. Yeah. We're excited.
You're not taking her to Branson with you, are you?
Nope.
Okay.
She doesn't need to see drunk judges. I did not say that. Cut that part out of the recording.
Okay. Too funny. Well,
Hey,
thank you, Kathie. We
yeah,
appreciate
I'll
it.
see you guys next month. Don't hesitate to give us a call if you need anything, and we'll be back in another month with any updates.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. You
See
have
you
a great
later.
day and a great trip to Branson.
Thanks.
All right. Bye now. All right. Always good to get caught up with Kathie there. She's never a dull moment, I'll tell you that. I can only imagine what goes on in court. Um, okay, Laura, would you like to pick it up where you left off? I apologize. I left the computer on there. I thought I had it turned off, and I know the echo is bad, so
Yeah, it's okay. I'll
try
start over.
again.
Okay, good morning and welcome, everyone. First, I'd like to do a bit of housekeeping. Feel free to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. Please be mindful of everyone else by muting yourself while others are speaking. You're welcome to put any contact information that you want to share into the chat. We meet here to share deals, look for deals and solutions we have in need with our real estate. We are not your financial advisors, attorney, or accountants. We do not endorse or recommend any specific solutions or contractors here. You're advised to do your own due diligence to your own satisfaction before you invest. The first Friday of each month is Ask the Attorney with Ms. Katharyn Davis. Our meetings are typically recorded, so only share what you want others to know.
Thank you, Laura. All right. Does anybody have anything they'd like to start us off with? Anybody got anything they're buying or selling? I guess it's always a good place to start.
I can go ahead and talk. I have a couple for sale listings.
Sure. Yeah, Stacy.
All right. So, myself and my coworker Missy, she just got licensed, so we're working together. We got a couple new listings. They're both investment properties. I'll put links in the chat as well, but one of them is 9632 Cutler Drive, and that's in Bell Fountain Neighbors 63137. This is a full rehab. It's a 2-bed, 1-bath, and it's listed at $52,360. It's a nice little house. It's got a 1-car attached garage, a fenced-in yard. Like I said, though, it does need a full rehab. I'll put that one in the chat right now. And then we also have another one that is in Normandy. This one has a tenant in place, paying $1,000 a month. It's listed at $85,000. It's a 2-bed, 1-bath, and it is 7605 San Diego Avenue, 63121. We currently manage this house. The tenant's been there a year. They're a pretty good tenant. And they just signed on for another year at $1,000 a month. And the tenant pays all of the utilities and is responsible for day-to-day lawn care. So have those available, both good cash flowing investment properties or opportunities. I'll put the link in the chat for there as well. And then while I'm here, I'll just go ahead and talk a little bit about myself and the company I work for. I'm Stacy Lowe. I am a licensed realtor. I'm in St. Louis area. We also have an office in the Cape Girardeau, Southeast Missouri area. I work for Soto Property Solutions. We are a full service brokerage, but we specialize in property management. So if anybody has any investment properties in the St. Louis area or Southeast Missouri area, we'd love to see if we could team up and help manage your properties. We do everything for you from start to finish. So really the only time you're hearing from us is when you're getting your direct deposit every month. So give me a call if you're interested or want any real estate help. My best phone number is my office line, 636-305-3380. I'm extension 311. And then my email is Stacy, STACY, at SOTOPS.com. And I'll put all of that in the chat here in just a second as well.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Stacy. Yeah, you just got back from Chicago, I see that you're back in town now. How was your
Yeah,
trip?
I was there a couple weeks ago for YPN, which is Young Professionals Network of Realtors. I am the incoming vice chair. So next year I'll be the vice chair for the St. Louis Realtors YPN committee. So they had a big National Association of Realtors YPN event, and I went up there, and I love Chicago. It was a great time, and I learned a lot and got to meet some other realtors from all over the country. So I have good referrals, and it's a good time.
Nice. Well, glad to have you back. Welcome
Yeah,
back.
absolutely.
I got a question. You said that one on Cutler, that was 9632 Cutler.
Let me double check. Yep, 9632 Cutler Drive. Yeah.
Okay, needs a full rehab. Was that a 2-bedroom, 1 bath? Is that what you said?
Yes, correct.
Okay, I didn't get that. And I'm always curious when it has very precise on the asking amount, 52,360. That usually that's some well thought out strategy behind that. Do you know the person that owns this place, or is that or do you know this history behind that?
So the my coworker Missy, who just got her license, this is her husband's grandparents' house.
Grandparents. Okay.
Yep.
Do you know how they came up with the 52,360 by any chance?
I'm not really sure. Dave might be able to weigh in for that. They Missy Missy and Dave, I guess, came up with the price. I'm not totally sure. I'm helping market and do the paperwork on the MLS and stuff. So Dave can give you a more specific
Sounds
answer
like
on
something
that.
you do, John.
Yeah, I like very specific numbers like that. So that's why I was curious. Not a lot of people go down that far.
So
So,
one of the programs we have access to, it's actually does a CMA for us. We go in and it has a recommended price, which is just almost like Zillow, right? The Zestimate.
right.
And we knew it was way off because of the quality of the property. We knew there's serious problems with the property. And so we went and found some comps, and actually the one down the street from there, and a couple other ones, and just adjusted because of the quality. And that's what, and believe it or not, Missy and I talked about it, and we were just looking at different properties without the program, just doing some comps, and we came up with a price of around $50,000. And then when I punched the numbers in, when I did the comps and did the program, get the results, that's the number I came up with exactly. So I'm going, that's a good number. It's close.
Perfect. I love it. Yeah, that's a great number. Very nice. Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. And I like the way you put a little bit more thought into it too. Not everybody does that, but I know you guys are a little bit more detailed because of what you do. So but that's great. I love that price. In fact, that'd be a good one to offer you 52,359, I think. And you might take that.
Yep, yep. And we've gotten it just went on the market, I think last night. So we've gotten some traction. So if you're interested, hit us up pretty quickly. So
Okay. And do you have any idea what that might rent for? The one there?
no, but I can tell you here in just a second.
Because I know that's a pretty good price for out there.
Yeah, and like it does need some work, but yeah, give me a second and I'll be able to tell you a rent estimate.
Yeah, just kind of curious. Did you by any chance, do you have any idea what it might need? You said full rehab. That could be a few different things. I mean, is that like a gut rehab, or is that just going through and updating and
I think the big important thing that Missy had talked about was the fact that his grandma has a lot of cats.
okay.
And every time they go visit, there's a lot of cleanup to do. So
Okay.
I think that's the biggest one.
All right. Very good.
Yeah, I agree. She said it's the floor, it definitely needs new flooring, and probably new appliances. Beyond that, maybe new cabinets, but definitely new flooring, fresh coat of paint, and then new kitchen. But I think the bathrooms are in okay shape. But new flooring is a big one because it smells of animal.
Sure. Well, that's all things that can be dealt with though too. And I think a lot of it would depend on if you're going to rent it or if you're going to have it for, to resell or whatever too, on what you put into it. So,
But
Yeah.
what's funny, John, about that is that a friend of ours, Stacy, and I know he's a property manager down in Springfield. He says he walked into a potential property, and he goes, "I love the smell of cat urine," because then he's going to get a deal.
it's yeah, equals dollar signs.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
And I just looked up on Zillow, Price My Rental. It's a great tool. I as a realtor, I don't like Zillow, but as a property manager, it's a great little tool. But it's saying 1383 for rent. So another very specific number.
Yeah.
But it's saying that's what some other 2-bedroom, 1 baths in the general area have rented for in the last 3 to 6 months. So
Oh, nice. Okay. Well, that's a great opportunity for somebody there.
yep.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. Yeah, I'm the same way. The worse they look and the more they smell, the more dollar signs I see too. Kathie Kennerbrook, when she talked at our group a few years ago, when she did her magic, marketing program, she was talking about a house she bought was full of monkeys down there in Florida, and monkeys smell apparently really pretty bad. She said it was one of the worst smells. But now she says whenever she goes into a place and it smells like that, she smells dollar signs because she made a lot of money on that property because a lot of people try to shy away from them. But I know Laura was like that too. When we first got together, we'd go look at some properties and she'd say, and actually the realtor we were using too at the time, she wouldn't even go in half of them. And I loved them. When she wouldn't go in, I knew I was getting a deal on some of those. So, I mean, the worse they smell, the better they are, in many cases. So thank you for sharing that with us, Stacy and Dave. Appreciate that. Good opportunity for somebody. You want to repeat your phone number one more time?
Yeah, absolutely. My office line 636-305-3380, and I am extension 311.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you very much. Good opportunities for someone. And let's see. Okay. Anybody else got anything you'd like to share with us here? You got a lot of smiling faces behind the cameras there.
Well, John, it's Ann Claiborne.
Hi,
How
Ann.
is everyone? I Gateway Rehab Foundation is actively looking for our first property, and the one she just talked about it's in our price range, but it sounds like it needs a lot more work. We're looking for the first project to be a little more simplified, but I am interested in seeing that to kind of judge how much it would cost to get it up and running to go. So I will be contacting you, but if anybody else runs into properties in the 50 to 75,000 range, for us to rehab and sell to low to moderate income families, I would definitely appreciate it. My number is 314-409-8298. Thank you.
Thank you. And yeah, that might be a good one for you to look at because I know a lot of times they sound like they need more than they actually do because it just depends on what you're going to do with it. But yeah, that'd be a good one. And actually Stacy would be a good contact for you, her and Dave, because they do run into opportunities like this fairly often. So,
Yep, I plan on giving her a call.
yeah, that's great. Well, thank you, Ian. And is there, in fact, while you're here, is there any certain areas you're looking at that you prefer more than others? Because I know a lot of times, we can kind of keep that in the back of our mind as we're out because you come across things and they may not be in our own personal area, but they may be in someone else's area. I know it's a great way to network and pass things along. So is there any area, any certain things you're looking at? You gave us a price range of what, 50 to 70. So
Yeah, I actually am looking all over because our mission is that we support families in Missouri and Illinois. So all of St. Louis City, County, north, south, west, and over in Illinois, Belleville, Alton, Edwardsville, Granite City, East St. Louis, all of that. So we're trying to work with low to moderate income families. So wherever they are, that's where we want to be able to um, fix the house up, rehab it, and sell it to them.
Okay, very good. Thank you. And repeat your phone number one more time, if you don't mind, please.
Sure. 314-409-8298.
298. Okay. Thank you, Ann. Appreciate
And
that. All right. Anybody else got anything that they're looking for or they would like to buy? Or is anybody working on anything?
Hey everyone, it's Blake Silverman.
Hey, Blake.
Just want to throw out there, I'm continuously looking for 3 units all the way up to 20. Preferably outside of North City and North County, but I'll go in St. Louis, South City, U City, or even Cape Girardeau. So if by chance anything comes to mind, I would certainly love to take a look. Class C, Class B.
Okay. And is there a certain dollar amount that you like to stay between? Do you have an amount you look at, Blake?
Not necessarily, maybe between 60 and 100,000 a unit.
Okay. And what's the best way to get a hold of you, Blake? What's your contact
I will put
information?
my contact in the chat.
Okay. Would you like to say it also
Sure
verbally so
thing.
anybody watching the replay?
Cell phone 636-489-8353.
8353. Okay. Thank you very much. Yeah. And if you put
Awesome,
in the
thank you.
chat for anybody to write it down, that'd be great. Thank you. All right. Hey, somebody else got something for us here? Kind of the weather cooling off a little bit. It's a good time to get out and do some rehabs and some stuff too that makes it a little more difficult when it's so hot out. I know we got a lot of good things coming up this fall. A lot of good opportunities. There are still a lot in the city too with the tornado that came through a few months ago. I know a lot of that still. They're still doing cleanup, and there's a lot of people still dislocated and actually homeless. So, yeah, if you're looking for any kind of projects in the city, this is really a good time to get out and look. And a lot of the stuff is not listed and out there that you don't even know is available too. So sometimes you just got to get out and maybe talk to some neighbors and look up the properties if there's something you see that you looks like it might be something in your range of projects. So. The tax sales are over now, so that was last week. All fun. I know some of the over-the-counter lists are out now. I'm actually excited about those myself. There's just actually so many opportunities. I just don't have time to do it. And then, of course, we get this week, right when I'm getting all my lists, then the accountant gets a hold of me and said they need the tax information by the 15th. So I had to put everything on hold and dig out my tax stuff I've been kind of putting off. And I don't want to say I'm a procrastinator, but I guess I am when it comes to taxes and some of the stuff. Because if it's fun, it gets done, and that's one of the things to me that's really not fun. So, but it's something we all need to deal with every year. We could figure out how to not to do that. I would be the first one in line. So, uh, but anyway, yeah, the lists are out, and actually, it's just a good time. I love the over-the-counter list. Some of the counties are really good about getting them right out there. I know a couple of them are. Then a couple of them are a little bit slower, and they have other procedures and other ways they do it. One county in particular that I always like to deal with, they don't get theirs out till like the first or second week in January. I guess they give everybody a chance for the redemption and everything else, but not all the counties do that. So. I believe the county or the city of St. Louis, if I remember right, I'll have to go back and look at my email from Dale Sweet, but I think that's coming up in October here. So if I remember right, and I could be wrong on that. I'll have to go back and double check. But I would think they were actually postponed because of the tornado and the weather problems we've had. So no, there'll probably be a lot more opportunities on that particular list coming up here.
John, it's Ann with Gateway Rehab Foundation again.
Yeah.
I am looking for an accountant that is versed in buying and selling real estate property. Is there anyone on the line, or can anyone suggest someone for me? I want to start off right.
That's always good to start off right. If you're like most of us, though, you don't, and you kind of change as time goes on. But I could give you my accountant, but I don't know. He's more of a commercial accountant. I don't know if he's taken on anybody. I'll ask him, and if he is, I'd be happy to pass him on. The ones we had back a couple years ago, actually, Ann, I had two accountants that we used for many years, and they both passed away within about 6 months of each other. So everything was on hold. And our stuff got kind of piled up, and it was like 3 years that we had a big problem trying to get somebody else. And finally, this particular guy we have, Larry Brown's his name. He's up out of Troy, and he came and took over some of their accounts, and we felt fortunate that he took us over, but I don't know. Accountants is one of the things. It's it's one size does not fit all, and everybody's situation is different. So I don't know. Does anybody have any recommendations for Ann here? Anybody they like to that they use for accounting for their real estate? Very doubtful everybody does their own, but you never know. I mean, it's possible. I know ours is way too complicated with ours because we have the couple LLCs, we have a S corp, and then we have our personal stuff. So it's just I wish they would make it simpler. But I'll check with him, Ann, and see if Larry is taking on anybody else. I don't know that he is, but I will check, and if so, I will pass on his information. Does anybody else have anybody they'd like to share with Ann? No, a lot of quiet people today. All right. Well, go back. Does anybody have anything they're working on? They're looking for referrals for contractors or
I'm sorry, I missed the price range that Ann Claiborne said at first for what they're looking for Gateway. Could you repeat that for me or repeat it for me, Ann?
Yes, it's between our. We want to start out between 50 and 75,000.
Okay, thank you.
Uh-huh.
yeah, and that's another good contact for you there. Ann Princess is a wholesaler out there, and she actually gets out and gets stuff done. And I know she's very attentive to details.
Princess, can you put your contact information out there?
Yes, ma'am, I'm gonna add it in now. Thank you.
And you're
Awesome.
welcome to share it with others also if you'd like to say it verbally, Princess. I know not everybody always likes to share everything, but you're certainly welcome to do that. If you say what what you do and your contact information, that is helpful for a lot of people.
Okay, thank you, Lee. So, actually, I am Princess Birch, and the company that I am starting is Cash for Midwest Homes. So we do wholesaling in the Midwest, but majority Missouri, Illinois, because I'm based in Illinois, and Missouri is actually where I'm from originally, East St. Louis. So spent a lot of time over there. It's a market I am more used to. And I really love the property over there. Actually, me and my husband, we're looking to close by the end of fall on our first property. So it will be a 2 unit that we're hoping to rent as well. But outside of that, all of our focus is in wholesaling when it comes to real estate. Um, A side note, another cool thing that I do like to do is like photography. So I do add like drone aerial photos because I am a drone pilot. So I do sometimes come out and I'll do some real estate photos or like interior for real estate. But that is just something that I'm more beginning in. If anyone's looking for properties though, just always feel free to send me your buy box. And I do have a couple of team members down in St. Louis as well, looking around. Like we were looking for Victoria, but we just weren't able to find anything that would really fit her requirements yet. So, but that we're still, always going through on our Illinois and Missouri sides primarily. So the number is 618-531-7450. And then I'll also put it in chat too.
Thank you, Princess. And drones, that's interesting. Yeah, I played around with those a few years ago. We had somebody actually came out and talked to our group about she does a lot of drone things, and she loaned me her drone. It was a nicer one than the one I have. I bought a cheap one, but it was what I found out is if you do that for other people, you almost have to have like a helicopter license. It's a whole different thing than just doing it for yourself. So I think that's very interesting. And to get out there. I mean, I looked at doing it and it was a whole course. It was just like getting my pilot's license with a bunch of extra stuff that I wasn't prepared for because it's more like a helicopter. Are you did you get that certification, Princess? Or do you know what I'm talking about?
Well, you know what? For mine, I have the certification, so it's really like the simple, the simple certification that you get to actually operate a drone. So I know the next level is like the large pilot's license, which is the exact same, like you said, it's actually like flying
Huh?
a vehicle that you're inside of. So that's the one that I don't have for commercial, but my drone is actually what they consider the toy because it's at 249 grams.
Mhm.
So I have the DJI SE2 Mini.
Nice.
Yeah, yeah. And it's really cool. I actually just went downtown Chicago and did some flying. So hopefully I'll have those videos edited soon. But no, I haven't done that yet. I've gone to Puerto Rico and done some actually work for a car company out there, a rental car company,
Mhm.
which was really cool. Um but you know what's crazy? I went to this great resort. They have like a private island and everything over there, but I didn't have my certification at that time, so I wasn't able to show them. I was like had just got the drone and didn't know the rules behind it. So I got to
Uh-huh.
make it back out there again.
Oh, fun. Yeah, it would be. I'd definitely be interested if it's with your experience and what you end up doing with that. And because I tell you, a lot of people, I think that's underused technology we have because some of the drone footage you can show of properties is just really fascinating, and you can see a lot more. You don't have to climb up on the roof. You can have the drone look at some of this stuff in the property boundaries and stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely. So I finally got the property. Like we're finally, working on it this year. But before I actually came out before I put a bid on properties last year, and that's what I did. We took the drone out and we just went to the top of the roofs for a lot of the places that we were looking at to see, what's really going on here as much as we could.
Mhm. That's a lot of fun too. And in fact, one of the things I did now, it's been a few years too, but one of my favorite things to go watch on YouTube was there was a channel called Drones Last Flights. And they had all the very last flights of the drones when they crashed and they didn't get them back. Some of them were in
Oh
the
no.
some of them are in the woods. And our place out here in the woods, I have not brought mine out here because I figured I'd be doing my drone's last flight once I got out here. So
That's funny. Yeah, definitely. I definitely fell into some trees in St. Louis. So
yeah, and some of them got stuck too, and they couldn't get them back because they were too far up in the smaller branches. I mean, there's all kinds of fun stuff, but could be very expensive because drones are, mine's a toy, mine's a cheap one, but a lot of them are not.
yeah, exactly.
So very fun. Maybe you could share some footage with at some point.
Yes, definitely. I'd love to.
That'd be great. Thank you, Princess.
No problem. Thank you.
All right, let's see here. Anybody else got anything for us today? No, anybody got anything they're working on? Anybody got anything they looking for anything else? I know we got a lot of good conversations here. Always do. I will have the replay up tonight. I'll have it on YouTube by midnight. That's always my rule. Usually it's around 3 o'clock or so. It might be a little bit later today because we've got to drive back, but I'll definitely have it done by tonight. So. All right. Nobody else has anything. I guess we could call it a day, and then we'll plan on meeting again next week. As always, we appreciate Kathie coming in, Katharyn Davis, our attorney, coming in and enlightening us on what's going on with the court system. Seems like there's never a dull moment, and we'll be looking forward to her hearing from her trip with all the judges in Branson down there, see what happens there, and wish her well, especially with her mother turning 90. That's exciting there. So. If anybody has anything else to share with us, this is a good time. Otherwise, I guess we can call it a day and we'll see you next week. So, all right. Well, I appreciate everybody. Thank you. And we'll see you all next week.
Thanks, John.
Bye.